Touchdown!
Hold on, guys. Let me move this off the screen. Voila, boom. There we are. There we are. There we are. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. What is happening, good people? Welcome. Welcome to the channel. I was about to say welcome to the latest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday, which obviously this isn't it. And some of you guys may have known by now, didn't do a Terrible Towel yesterday. You know, I was, had to go to a birthday dinner. So I was unable to come on and do Terrible Towel yesterday, but there's not a whole lot of Steeler news anyway, right? You know, outside of the Steelers signing Deshaun Elliott, shout outs to him, giving him an extension, but no real news, no real news. So I decided, man, since this blog came out last night, I decided to do what I did with some of the other blogs and do a live reaction. I have not read this blog at all. Yes, I saw the trailer, but I have not read the blog whatsoever. So I want to do it live with you guys. So what's up to some of the people who are early? My man Smoke Capone in the building. My man Rob Dilla in the building. My good buddy Crazy Ron Gaming in the building. Nemo the Zeus. What's up, brother? Derek Norris is in the building. He says, what's up, Sim? Can't wait to watch your franchise series on 26. Yeah, guys, the franchise series is coming. It's going to be slowed down a bit as far as what I was bringing to you guys with Madden 25. I'm currently playing it on PC, and man, I was just about to dive into it and bring you guys some more footage, wonderful gameplay I'm experiencing over there. But this dropped. I got a beta code, so I'm going to fire that up right after I'm done with this stream. So, my time will be pretty much taken away. What's up? What's up? What's up? You know who you are. I'm not going to say your name because everybody don't need to know your government. What's up, brother? This guy. Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Like I said, you know, I'm gonna keep who you are to myself. Those that know, but you know me. Confidentiality, man, always. But what's good with you, man? Yeah, guys, listen, I've been playing, like I said, I've been playing Madden 25 heavy on PC, and I was planning to continue that series with you guys. I actually put Aaron Rodgers on my squad because over in the PC world with the modders, they have a franchise tool, and I went in and I just added Aaron Rodgers, yada, yada, yada. And some of you guys might have saw the video I posted, I want to say yesterday, where I was just showing you good gameplay from Madden 25 PC. But like I said, this news dropped, the beta dropped. What do you want me to do? But I can assure you guys that y'all will see heavy rotation from me this cycle with EA, football, college football, and Madden. I promise you, I will keep it going, and I'm gonna get my channel back where it needs to be, man. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. But let's get to it. Like I told you guys, I have not read a single line of this blog. I wanted to share this experience with you guys. Let me see who all we got up in here tonight, man. Hold on. Decent crowd so far, 34 people. So let's go ahead and rock. I'm sure more people will come in as we get started. Let me read a few comments really quick. What's up, CT Pittman? My man CT is in the building. Sportsaholic says, does anyone know if there will be a halftime show and new announcers? Yes. That information might be in the blog, but that has already been mentioned in the Reveal blog, right? In the Reveal blog, they talked about halftime show. I don't know if there's new announcers. I know that What's my man's name? Scott Hamilton? Is it Scott? Am I saying his name correct? Y'all know that in NFL Red Zone guys. It's Hammond, Scott Hammond. Y'all know who I'm talking about. But he is in the game, but I don't know if he's only there in the capacity of weekly wrap-up shows or what have you. I don't know if there's new commentators. However, I will say Kate Scott was my favorite in Madden 25. I really love what they did with the commentary with her and old boy. And also, you know, Tarico and Olsen sounded good. You know, you clearly could tell, in my opinion, that there was a difference between what they did versus what we already had from Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis. You could tell that Kate's commentary was fresh. So I really appreciated it. All right, let's get to it, guys. Let's get to it. Oh, my man said, been watching you since the Sim Standard started way back in Madden 12 trailer. Wow, man, salutes to you. Appreciate the support, man, the love and support. Sticking around, man. I appreciate that. So let's get to it, guys. Without further ado, let me pull up the blog and I'm going to get to reading. It is a lengthy blog, I will say that. I have never seen a blog this big from a Madden game. I'm just keeping it a buck. I've never seen this before. And you guys know, and like my man just said, I have been going down to EA Sports, EA Tiburon since Madden 13. That was 2012, right? Never seen anything quite like this. Don't go down anymore. You know, it's been quite a few years since I've gone down, but I do still keep in contact with a lot of the dev team. So I would say I still have somewhat of a relationship with the devs and EA in general, you know, still a part of their creator network and such. I just don't do the hand to hand, right? I don't go down and get flown out and all that kind of stuff no more, you know, nor do I mind that. You know, I'm in a different stage of life. I love being with my family and living my life. I let some of the young cats get that in. But anyway, let's get to it, guys. Let's get to it. So the first thing it says is, hello, Madden fans. Football season is right around the corner. Training camp is on the horizon, and every team starts with the new hope of the season to come. We're kicking it off with a deep dive into all of the new gameplay features and improvements you can expect in Madden NFL 26. And like I said, I wanted to read this in real time, real reaction, so you guys can see how I really feel, unfiltered, unscripted, and I promise y'all, I have not read a single word of this. Built from Sundays. This is what they told us in the reveal trailer. Gameplay in Madden NFL 26 is all about bringing you closer to the NFL while providing ultimate control and performance on the sticks. We're powering our play call AI with years of NFL coaching data that will make our gameplay smarter and more rewarding. We're expanding the replicating signature styles of the NFL players and coaches that you can see and feel. Not only that, our team is continuing to focus on the fundamentals of the sport for more depth and gameplay balance. Man, this is music to my ears. It says, no matter how you like to play, there's something for everybody, and it starts with this year's 3 core gameplay principles. I'll read the principles and then I'll read the definitions. Signature identity, community request, and foundational football. Let me just say this as an aside, guys. When I used to go down to EA Tiburon, I would often say, hey man, there's room for everybody in this community, right? I remember when I first met guys like, what's up, Dez? Shout out to my brother Dez. I remember when I first met guys like Z Farls and Gibbs, right? These guys are the ultimate, I wouldn't even call them tourney players. Farls and Gibbs was more of they were necessary, right? Because they would do all of what sim community would call cheesy stuff, but they intentionally did stuff and broke the game, right? Guys like that, and they were necessary. When I finally went down there, I found out, you know, these guys are necessary. I can't stay in my sim bubble and think other people don't, you know, they're not good for the game. Then you meet guys like my man Zan. Shout outs to Zan if he's to see this. Zan can play attorney style. but Zan knows his real football. He knows football. And again, he's another one of those guys that will get in and lab and break the game down and say why something is wrong, why something doesn't make sense from a concept standpoint, right? Had nothing to do with the fact that he might play the game loosely, he might play mutt. He would tell the devs what was wrong from a fundamental standpoint. Then you have guys like Lights, attorney guy. He was necessary, given some of the same information that Zan would talk about. Then we had guys like my man Mole, right? When I first went down to EA, I met Mole, right? And Mole was a bit younger than me. And at the time, Mole probably was, I want to say he might have been a teenager. I think the first time I met Mole, he might have been like 19, right? But again, Mole was the type of guy who would just pick up the game and play it and expose like the problems in the game, but it was a game to him. Very good at the game. He was very good at playing Madden. You know how we would always say, quote fingers, the sim guys would say, oh, well, I play football. It was a game. Mole was very good at the game. Mole went on to be a dev. But again, let me tell y'all a secret. Mole also understands real football concepts and principles, right? So I say all that to say, I would always say, hey, there's a place for everybody. Look at what 2K did with NBA 2K. They cater to the sim crowd, well, they attempt to with their My NBA, but then they have the tourney guys with Pro-Am and all of that, and then they have the casual guys with the part. And for a long time, 2K was holding the crown of being the best, quote unquote, simulation style game for everybody. And I always said, why not Madden? You can accommodate all crowds by just going with what they say here, foundational football. Everybody will still have fun. The more foundational football in the game, I think it makes much better. But anyway, let me not hold you guys too long. This is a super long blog, so I'm sorry for the soapbox there. But anyway, signature identity, dynamic gameplay experiences that pay off the unique signature styles of the teams, players, and coaches fans know and love, no matter what mode you play. See, I just said that. Through quarterback DNA, coach DNA, and football weather, each game will feel like its own rewarding challenge, authentic to the exclusive identities of the NFL. Let's go. Community requests. Madden NFL 26 is built for all of our different types of players. I just said that. And we want you to know that we are listening. Whether it be searching social media, watching players play and stream, or having direct conversations, which I've had a lot of those. We value the feedback and are leveraging it to improve the experience by delivering a number of your wish list items. Foundational football, a never-ending pursuit of perfection in the fundamentals of the sport, blocking and tackling, passing and catching, driven by our players' desire for authenticity, well, it says authentic, balanced gameplay mechanics, and strategic depth. Okay. Signature identity. Our goal for Madden NFL 26 is to make each Sunday feel different, okay? And each game feel rewarding. Each time you play a game, whether it be versus the AI or versus another user, online or offline, you should feel immersed in a rewarding challenge, a strategic chess match, and an overall NFL experience where the unique identities of the teams, coaches, and players have a meaningful impact on how the game is played and the wins and losses. Let me interrupt myself really quick. I'm going to give a shout out to my good brother, Azur Effect. My man who said he's been watching us since 2012 knows who Azur Effect is. Him, myself, and Smitty went on to be known as the Sim Standard, even though the Sim Standard started with many other people. We continued to carry the torch. Azur Effect has always said, man, listen, we can find ways to get a good challenge offline, right? Which is one of the reasons why I play so much offline now, because, with sliders and, again, shout outs to the Madden modding community. With the modders, you could get you one heck of an experience against the AI. However, The issue has always been what happens when you play another opponent. And that has been our issue, myself and Azure Effect included. What happens when I'm playing somebody else and user input and all of that? So these are big words that EA is putting out there. These are big words saying whether you're versus the AI or another user online or off, you should feel immersed in a rewarding challenge, a strategic chess match. Strategic chess match. Now you got my attention. Let's go. Let's continue. This is what makes the NFL so insanely popular and exactly the experience we are aiming to deliver. Madden NFL 26 is delivering this signature experience through quarterback DNA, coach DNA, and football weather. Quarterback DNA, and some of this we already know about, guys, because some of this was in the game, the Madden 26 reveal blog, but I'll read anyway. The NFL quarterback is the most iconic position in all of sports. As we continue pushing the ball forward with signature styles in Madden, we saw an opportunity to completely reimagine the performance of the position. What we mean when we say performance includes all of the following: visual quality, signature behaviors, improved AI, and new mechanics. New mechanics. New mechanics. Before we even get going, I hope the mechanics are still something that we prefer. What I mean by that is one of my favorite features is freeform passing. If anybody in here is watching from back in the day, or even if some of the devs are watching, you guys would remember when I was an advocate of ball placement, and I was not the only one, but I feel like that my feedback was a small smidgen of the reason why target passing came to Madden. Y'all remember target passing? Great idea. I just think the quality, the execution of target passing didn't really hit the mark because it was a little hard to do, right? When you landed it, it was great, but it wasn't so accessible or user-friendly. Then they come out with freeform passing, 2 years ago? I want to say Madden 24 introduced it, and in 25 as well. And most of us are big fans of it. Some are not, but most of us are significant fans of freeform passing. I think it's one of the best Madden mechanics we've had in terms of passing, right there with Vision Cone. So I'm hoping when they say new mechanics that they didn't go too far away from that, or maybe they revamped passing, right? Revamped passing was in College 25. They brought it to Madden in an update. I love revamp passing, right? I use revamp more than freeform. Love it. But we'll see. Thus, we are delivering significant enhancements across each component that makes up QB DNA in our game so that they play, look, and feel iconic, okay? In the pocket behaviors, the first component of quarterback DNA is the behavior inside the pocket. The first thing you'll notice is the new signature ball holds, okay? We'll have 9 unique ball holds at launch, including 2-hand and 1-hand variations of a high and low hold, or by chin and back ball holds, okay? For 1-hand variations, the QB AI is dynamic enough to contextually switch to 2 hands when under pressure or in traffic to increase ball security. Okay. For visual quality, a big benefit, I'm adding words. A big benefit of having unique ball holds is that they align better with the way each QB's throwing motion works and puts much less stress on blending the animation together when trying to account for a variety of throwing motions from very few ball holds. This means that the complete throwing motion from hold to throw will look smooth and more athletic, while also being more responsive to the button press. Here's a list of all of the new ball holds. Gunslinger, gunslinger 1-hand, gunslinger mid, gunslinger 1-hand low, 2-hand middle, 2-hand middle back, 2-hand middle below chin, and 2-hand low, okay? We've also added more active in-pocket idles, as the QBs will be bouncing on their feet more and or patting the ball and moving their head around to find open receivers while reading the field from the pocket. Okay, all set to each QB as individual parts of their DNA based on how they play the position on Sundays. Here we go. We cooking. Now that's some authenticity right there. Got to see how it plays out, but I like the idea and where they're going with this. You know, it was said that Shedeur Sanders pats the ball too much. Remember, they were saying that before he got drafted. So I'm assuming he's going to have one of those pat the ball mechanics. Scramble on the run. There's a significant amount of improvements coming for the scramble game, both for passing and running. We've completely revamped all of our on-the-run passing animations and now have full animation coverage for every arm angle. Wow. We've also improved the footwork fundamentals to ensure that the QB's hips and shoulders get into the appropriate position relative to where the QB is trying to throw the ball when moving. Okay. To give players more control and responsiveness, we've smoothed out the animation transition, starting with the first transition that happens from the in-pocket idle to scramble locomotion, and then from scramble loco to set feet, so that as soon as you provide an input on the sticks, you'll see and feel the appropriate football work movement by the quarterback you're controlling. Okay, we get into details here. To further improve QB scrambling, we've added to our run cycle sets. Last year, 4 superstar running backs, including Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey, got signature run cycles this year. We're adding cycles. Okay, this year we're expanding that to scramble QBs. That means Kyler Murray and his unique style, along with Super Bowl MVP Jalen Hurts and Chiefs all-world quarterback Mahomes, will have signature locomotion sets. We saw the Kyler Murray in the trailer, right? I think we saw that in the first trailer, in the gameplay trailer. We've also added coverage, not gameplay, the reveal trailer. We've also added coverage to our traditional one-hand and two-hand scramble types, which will be assigned to each QB based on how they hold the ball when they scramble. Passing. Nothing is more fundamental to the QB position than passing. And for Madden NFL 26, we've completely refreshed our in-pocket throws, back foot and back step passes, lob passes, animations, and signature throw styles. We've even added some new types of signature passes that we're calling signature off-platform throws. Probably like Caleb Williams, I would assume. These are unique situational passes that can only be triggered by specific players. Jump passes on the run by Caleb Williams. Yeah, we saw that in the trailer. By Caleb Williams, no-look passes by Mahomes, of course, and Matthew Stafford. Stafford can do it too. Explosive crossbody throws by Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. These special passes will automatically trigger for these specific players in similar situations that match what they did in real life. Saw that in the trailer. Some QBs have to be moving in specific direction. Some have to be under pressure. Trust me, you see these, you will know they are exclusive to that QB and look exactly like they did on Sunday. Wow. Madden 26 has all new animations for almost every type of throw that improves the visual quality and responsiveness of the passing game and pays off the signature styles of the superstar QBs. We didn't stop there. We're also introducing 3 unique base arm slots, over top 3, 3/4, high and 3/4 low, that will be assigned to each QB on what their default throw angle is in real life. QBs who frequently change their arm slot, like Stafford, will be able to dynamically change from one arm slot to another base in order to get the pass through an open lane. Man, reimagining the quality bar of the QB means going into every detail of the positions, and that means even refining how the ball comes out of their hand on each throw. So that is spins out of the hand smoothly. Let me read that again, guys. It's a lot of words, so they jumble in. It says, so that it spins out of the hand smoothly, leaving the pointer finger last, and comes out with the correct trajectory. Smitty has talked about trajectories. Correct trajectory, spin, and power based on the selected throw so that the throws look and feel buttery smooth every time, whether you're dropping a dime in real time or going into a slow-mo replay to create shareable content. Boy, this is a lot. This is a lot, guys. I'm gonna keep reading. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far, and I'm nowhere near the end of this thing. Across each component of QB DNA, in pocket, on the run, and passing, we've added over 500 new animations and have 40 unique quarterback recipes so that whether you're playing against a CPU-controlled QB or using one yourself, each one will look, behave, and feel like their real-life, real-world counterpart. And here are the unique arm slots as they're showing you here on the pictures. There's that Mahomes throw. QB mechanics and control. Speaking of a user control, we have a few new QB mechanics coming to Madden 26 to complement the animation improvements. First is field vision, a technology that dictates the sight line of a QB in the pocket based on his height. Whoa. Wow. Okay, if a QB is not tall enough to see over the top of the line, his vision and accuracy will be impacted when not throwing in open lanes between blockers. I had to take a sip of water right there, brothers and ladies who might be in here. What? Field vision? So you telling me a guy like Kyler Murray might have a tougher time? You'll be made aware of this as the receiver icons will fade out when crossing into segments obstructed from the QB's view. The main purpose of this new functionality is to bring more value to traditional tall pocket QBs and more balance to shorter, more mobile QBs. Let me just say something as an aside real quick, guys. And I'm gonna pull up the comments in case you guys comment as I'm talking. Why is this significant to me? I'm going to explain why this is significant to me. Guys, this is crazy. Hold on, guys. I got to check something real quick. Matter of fact, I could ask y'all, am I still streaming? Are we still live? Somebody confirm that for me. Should be, but I just want to make sure. Let me see if I can hear it. Yeah, I'm still live, right? It's weird. My software is reading as if I'm not live. That's why I had to hesitate. But y'all confirm that y'all can see it as well. I can see it on my end, but please somebody confirm. Yes, okay, all right. It's weird, man. It's asking me to go live. Very strange. But anyway, let's get to it. Why that's significant for me, guys, if you like me, if you are, you call yourself a sim head, even though I know the game hasn't been complete simulation, I still play and behave like it is. When I draft, I'm looking for tall QBs, tall receivers, and all that kind of stuff, even though we know in most cases that don't matter. They have made it to a point, at least up into Madden 25, where a taller receiver has some advantages, but the quarterback never mattered. It never mattered. So now you're telling me that geeky stuff that some of us are into is going to matter. That is crazy. So now I can literally go get a quarterback if I need one, and I have to take in consideration this kid's height. That's football. That is a football thing. Let me continue. Wow. We've brought back the ability to do all ball carrier special moves with your QB while behind the line. So you can evade pass rushes before throwing a dot, just like Jaden Daniels. This time, these special moves like spin and juke can be done by simply using the right stick. No need for a modifier. Okay. All right, we'll have to see how that goes. I saw somebody, I don't want to say any names because I don't remember who it was, but I did see somebody, one of the more known guys saying that they like the feature, but they're wondering if it could end up being OP with certain guys, like a Lamar Jackson or somebody like that. And we'll have to see. We'll have to see. And I'm gonna pump the brakes, guys, and reserve my judgment until we play these games. A lot of times we always like to call something OP that might be realistic. if I'm being honest, Lamar Jackson was a bit OP behind the line of scrimmage last season. Y'all remember that? Did y'all watch as many Lamar Jackson games as I did? I saw him at least twice, well, at least 3 times as a Steelers fan. But do you guys remember how this dude was sometimes buying like 8-9 seconds in the pocket? Have y'all watched Lamar Jackson? So I can understand from a video game standpoint, people saying, oh, it's OP, but that ain't OP. That's Lamar Jackson. You see what I'm saying? So I reserve my judgment on things like that until I can see it for myself, right? And see how it feels. It says, note, in order to use the Playmaker feature, you will have to hold down LT or L2 when flicking the right stick to activate. Okay. Tuning has been done to pass trajectories to bring more lob and lead to non-bullet passes so you can feel like you have more fidelity to drop passes in the bucket down the field. QB traits. The QB revamp doesn't end there. The team needed to make sure playing against an AI QB will feel just as fun and rewarding as a human. To accomplish this, we've completely redone player traits. Madden 26 will have 50 new player traits at launch, which serve as the mentals or decision-making for the CPU-controlled player. Okay, I like that. They have no impact on outcomes at all. Oh, y'all heard us. Y'all heard our cries. Y'all heard our cries about absolute superstar traits and things that just are absolutes. Did not like that. So I'm hoping that's what they're saying here when it says they have no impact on the outcome. They simply allow AI players to differentiate themselves from each other by how they uniquely make decisions on the field. These loadouts are backed by real-world NFL stats and data. For example, Josh Allen will have the run over trait, which makes him more likely to run through contact when scrambling rather than sliding or running out of bounds. Ooh, I love it. Allen was assigned this trait because over the last 2 NFL seasons, Allen leads the league with 54% of his scramble resulting in at least 3 yards after contact. Not mad at that. That's real world data. We have obviously focused heavily on traits for the QB this year, but we're also introducing new traits all across the field, which will be explained upon in the future. Here's a list of all of the 50 traits and what they do. I'm not going to go through all of that, guys, because that's a lot to read. You know, I'll let you guys kind of read that on your own, but there's a bunch. Look for stars, risk taker, conservative, cannon, up and over, snap, mischief, seeking ghosts, it's a bunch. But I don't want to spend a lot of time reading those, guys, because, again, this blog is long enough as it is, so I'll let you guys go do that in your time. But 50 new traits, so go check that out. QB AI improvements. Beyond the scope of the new player traits, we've also made some fundamental improvements to general QB AI to ensure that playing against the AI will generally be more rewarding and realistic. Decision-making for when to scramble has been improved by adding new logic that takes the game situation into account. Down, distance, score, and clock. We've also added prediction logic so that the QB has an idea of how many yards he can gain before contact. Wow. This will make the QBs more aware of the first down line as they are better at deciding when is the right time to take off and run. Man, pocket movement and behavior has been improved by making the QB more aware of the center of the pocket and desired launch point correlating with the drop back depth. This drives when the QB will step up into the pocket or run away from pressure. In some cases, they'll run backwards away from pressure to buy time. Overall, the pocket center gives the QB an anchor point to stay close to when avoiding pressure, maximizing the angles of the offensive line and trying to protect the spot. AI QBs will now have the ability to make hot reads based on their ratings. Higher rated QBs will now be able to throw quickly to receivers if they read quick pressure, whereas lower rated QBs will be more likely to hang on to the ball longer. Man, I'm loving what I'm hearing here. Read progression AI has been completely overhauled. We've used a machine learning model. Wow. We've used a machine learning model based on wide receiver openness to train our AI in finding and throwing to the open receivers while they go through read progression. To better differentiate QBs inside the pocket, the speed at which they are able to process their progression is driven by their awareness rating, and it should be. A higher rated QB may be able to get to the third or fourth read on a longer play, but lower rated QBs may only make it to the first or second read most of the time. Steelers fans, that sounds like you'd be able to replicate Mason Rudolph or perhaps a Kenny Pickett in Madden 26. And that's not a disrespect to those guys, but if you're a Steelers fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Wow. As plays extend, the new logic also will allow QBs to take more shots downfield when they have a receiver in one-on-one situations. I love that. I love that. If you telling me, hate to say this, but if now Dak Prescott has a one-on-one with a George Pickens or a CD Lamb, they're going to take the shot. I love that. I love that. Russell Wilson perhaps with Malik Neighbors. I love that. Again, this is all of the stuff, guys, that and not just me, many others who used to go down, but this is all of the stuff that I would envision having one day. I never knew if any of this stuff would be possible in a game. But I used to always say, man, I want the quarterback to use their weapons. Ever since the matchup stick came to Madden, I was like, QB AI should be able to recognize the matchups. This sounds like that. Love that, man. The new read progression AI will create a larger and more noticeable gap between the elite players at the position and everybody else, and should present a more rewarding challenge when defending the passing game. I am loving this. Coach DNA. Another way we're bringing to life the unique signature identity of the NFL that fans know and love is Coach DNA. This is a set feature of features that delivers on real life tendencies and styles of each NFL head coach. Running the same set of plays against similar CPU schemes to get easy wins are in the past. To be successful, you'll now need to gameplay. I think that might have meant game plan. It says gameplay, but it says you'll need to gameplay, but I'm going to just say you'll need to game plan and strategize differently depending on your opponent. Love it. Data-driven coaching is an example of how Madden 26 is truly being built straight from Sundays. We use decades of NFL play call tendencies data to train a predictive machine learning model. Once again, this new innovation allows you, the gamer, to ask, what would Andy Reid do? What would Dan Campbell do? The way our models answer those questions makes each game feel like the chess match of the NFL that we all love to watch and unfold every week. This new play call model will make coach suggestions and AI play calling more dynamic, thank God, and true to each real life team by finding the play the head coach or his staff would call given the game situation. Things like down, distance, score, clock time, timeouts, personnel, field position, and even the weather conditions are used as filters to sort through all of the available plays in the playbook and narrow down to those that best match what each team would most likely call in a given situation. You'll see AI-controlled teams make these dynamic play calls when playing against them. The Dan Campbell coached Lions will aggressively go for it on fourth down more than anybody else. The Nick Sirianni coached Eagles will use RPOs and zone reads to play to the strengths of Jalen Hurts. For your own play calling, coach suggestions will be powered by the data-driven model. So if you want to compare what you would dial up versus what the real-world coach would dial up, you can see that play in Coach Suggestions tab. Now, again, Steelers fans, how easy is this going to be for me? It's going to be very easy. Just pick it with Arthur Smith. And Arthur Smith has been a little better, but pick it with Arthur Smith and Matt Canada, and it's going to be very easy for me to dial up something that they wouldn't, right? I'm absolutely going to call a better game than them. Oh man, but no, I got faith in Arthur Smith, man. I think he's a bit better, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes with one Aaron Rodgers. Um, Adaptive counters to bring even more utility. Data-driven coaching is also powering new adaptive counters, which can dynamically change the suggested plays based on your opponent's tendencies in that game. Oh man, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. This kind of reminds me, guys, remember when dynamic player performance, I forget which Madden that was. And again, this is more of a coaching, but it kind of reminds me of that. And I thought when we had that dynamic player performance, that Madden was on to something then and they went away from it. And now it seems like they're bringing that AI and machine learning type of stuff and dynamic stuff back. But it's crazy, man, because I thought they were on to something with that dynamic player performance. And I thought they could have taken that and did so many things with that technology. But the milk is already spilled, right? Now we're here. So it says, tendencies in that game. Whether you're playing against the AI or against another user, your opponent tendencies are tracked during the game, and the concepts that counter those tendencies become more heavily weighted in the prediction model. Okay. For example, if you're playing against a mobile QB, the model will start suggesting more QB contain or zone coverages plays to combat the running QB. These counters would be shown in the code suggestions menu, with specific tags of them that read counter. Now, what I love about this, guys, is, if you're like me, I don't cheese the game. I don't really know how to play like that. But now maybe this gives us a little more ammunition if you want to go jump out there in those play now lobby, online lobby. If you want to go get nose waters and guys are cheesing you, maybe you could use a coach suggestion to help stop one of those plays. We'll see. For anywhere in the game that allows a mix and match between the coach and playbook or coach customization, we've created a league model that has been trained on global NFL play call trends. This ensures that in any game played outside of the team-specific context between the coach and playbook, play calling will still reflect authentic league-wide tendencies. I love that. Both the individual team and league models will be updated throughout the NFL season via title updates to stay current with evolving coach trends, as our goal is to keep Madden coaching strategy moving at the speed of the NFL. Man, I'm loving this. Coach speak. This was a question I had after the reveal trailer, and I think I saw something in the deep dive trailer that answered my question, but let's read here. Coach speak. Data-driven coaching will introduce a first-of-its-kind feature to sports games known as Coach Speak. It's a coach lens that brings top play call recommendations to life by explaining why they're being suggested. Okay. And doing so in the unique style of the coach you're playing as. This feature gives you a backstage pass to a thought process of the NFL's masterminds. Wow. So it says when the Lions model recommends going for it on fourth and short, you'll see a banner featuring Dan Campbell alongside a text insight providing context into decision. It's driven by a new language learning AI model. You'll see the signature mentions about grit and grind and maybe even a mention of biting kneecaps. It will feel like you're the offensive coordinator on the sideline while the head coach offers direction. You can let him call the play for you, or as the official play caller, you can change course and go with your gut. It is at its core, it's a step forward in realizing Coach Madden's original vision. The experience is deeper than digital football simulation. It's a teaching tool, coaching up fans about the sport they love. Man, I'm loving everything about this. My question was, I wanted to know, is it actually their voice? But I think it is just a graphic because we kind of saw that with the headset, in the trailer. But at first, when I heard this, I was like, wait, is it them, the actual coach talking? But that doesn't matter. Real-time coaching AI. Real-time coaching AI significantly advances Madden 26's schematic depth by providing players with an authentic NFL strategic experience that dynamically evolves throughout each game. Originally introduced in College Football 25 and praised by players, RTC now transitions into Madden 26 as our central adaptive AI system across all of American football. Thank you, finally. Side note, in case you guys don't know what I'm referring to, I kept saying last year, why would you build a feature like wear and tear and not put it in Madden? The adaptive AI stuff with RTC, I was like, why? They're both American football. So I'm glad that they finally are going with the vision I had all along, saying these two games should be built alongside each other. This one could be programmed for college, this one could be programmed for NFL, but there shouldn't be any football feature. Football feature. I'm not talking about league specific. I'm talking about a football feature. There's no reason why one should live in one place and not live in the other. If it's essential to football, whether that's on or off field, it should be in both games. All right, let's keep it moving, guys, because it's still a ton of this. A ton. Building on top of the college, enhancements to the system for 26, delayed shifts, improved formation intelligence, targeted run recognition, and more. Defenses can now disguise their intentions through delayed safety rotations, pre-play, defensive front adjustments, and precisely timed blitz packages. This evolution forces players to carefully read and react post-snap. Man, I can't wait. Detailed NFL coach archetypes further amplify this realism, closely mirroring the strategic philosophies of the actual NFL defensive coordinators. Teams like the Vikings and Chiefs aggressively pressure the quarterbacks through blitz-heavy schemes and disruptive pass rushing techniques. They do. We knew they were going to do that in the Super Bowl, and they did. Right? Other teams like to disguise coverages, like the Eagles, that primarily play defense from a too-high coverage shell, or the Steelers, Steeler fans, or the Steelers that operate from a one-high look. Boy, don't we? Boy, the Steelers play more cover 3 and cover 1. Man, they do. They do. And the only problem is, man, listen, I don't have a problem with zones, and, man, you got to know when to call it and call it in the right spots, but you got to mix it up. My beef with my Steelers with defense has been that a lot of times, man, they just ran what they were going to run, and everybody knew what they were going to run. And even when we played cover 3, we would just give the inside position to every receiver known to man. Our corners would bail, and they would bail to their right and allow whoever's in the slot or the one or the tight end would just quick slant inside on a 3rd and 4. And it's a first down every time. Boy, that burned me up. Boy, that burnt me up every time. I know my man CT Pittman knows what I'm talking about. All right, let's continue. It says all the Steelers that operate from a one-high look. AI-controlled teams will be utilizing diverse personnel groupings, blitz adjustments, and disguises to create confusion at the line of scrimmage. With the dynamic nature of the RTC system, every game you play should feel more rewarding and strategic while displaying the signature identity of the team you're playing against. This is beautiful stuff, man. Playbooks. The final component of Coach DNA is also one of the most important for our players. Playbooks. Players have told us clearly that they love what we brought to the table in Madden NFL 25 with more team-specific plays, a wider variety of new concepts, and frequent updates after launch to continue pushing plays into the game that we see pop on Sundays and Mondays. We're doubling down, literally. We'll have nearly 1,000 new plays for the launch of Madden 26, which is twice the amount of new plays we introduced in Madden 25. Our focus for the playbooks in 26 will be the following: motions and shifts, stunts and twists. Lord have mercy, how long have we asked for that? Exotic defensive pressure, new coaching adjustments. As you've seen in the NFL recently, the use of motions and shifts is that's on the rise. More teams are using eye dressing to make similar concepts look different to the offense. We're bringing more plays with auto motion to our playbooks, along with new double motion plays and auto shifts to support these new motions. We've captured all new locomotion sets so that the player movement will in motion looks more natural and authentic and has a variety of speeds based on the intent of the play. Proper balance, we've improved the motion follow logic for defenders covering the motions, and we've also added the capability of the defense to continue making adjustments and hot routes after a motion has started, which is something brand new this year, okay? On the defensive side of the ball, players have been clamoring for stunts and twists. Yes, we have, for years, and we're finally able to deliver them in Madden 26. It's time to bring even more strategy and play customization to our playbooks. You'll be able to add any stunt to any defensive play as long as the formation alignment supports it by holding down the play call menu. When you enter the drop-down menu in a standard 4-down look on defense, you may have as many as 12 different stunts to choose from to apply to any play in that set. If you're in a sub defense and have only 3 or 2 down linemen, you may have only a few or in some cases no stunts to choose from. The system is completely dynamic in that it allows the appropriate stunts in the appropriate fronts. I love that. To combat today's pass-heavy NFL offenses, we've also seen a rise in exotic blitzes. The Vikings are in Exhibit A. Defensive coordinators have gotten more creative in finding ways to pressure the QB and can bring pressure from all over the field. Recreating this, we've added a variety of new blitzes such as simulated pressures that can overload one side without rushing more than 4. Steelers do that a lot. This results in more looping, crossing, and overall ways to get blitzers free off the edge for our players who relish in making your opponent's offense sweat. You'll have more tools in your belt than ever. Coach adjustments. In addition to play call trends, coach adjustments will revolutionize your level of control and customization, alignments, and assignments. We've added new coach adjustments that allow you to adjust the alignment of your safety on defense. Your safeties can play deep 25 yards off the line, prevent 32, tight 5, or close 8, in addition to the default alignment from the called play. Wow. So you can bring your safety up within 5 yards, okay? You can also adjust the safety's width to spread, wide, and pinch. You can adjust the midpoint with the options being left, right, strong passing strength, weak away from passing strength, to the field hash or to the boundary hash. Wow. You can align your safeties to get involved versus the run, get deeper to not give up any big plays, and everything in between to keep your opponent guessing. Is your opponent trying to RPO you into the ground? Not so fast. New adjustments will allow you to dictate how your AI defenders play versus reads and peak RPOs. You can decide when you want them to play the run first or pass first. With these new options, it was important to us to also improve the usability. When using zone drops, you'll now see the play art update, and you'll have the ability to reset your adjustments to default by simply clicking the left stick or L3. To add more balance and strategy around fumbles, we've removed the ability for a user to have a conservative ball carry adjustment. Okay. This adjustment will now only be activated by AI-controlled ball carriers, player lock situations. This adjustment was used as an unfair advantage in Madden 25 to avoid fumbles without carrying any real risk. In 26, to try to avoid fumbling late in the game situations, rely on the cover ball mechanic by pressing RB or R1. When using cover ball on sim game style, you have greatly reduced chances of fumbling on competitive. As long as the cover ball is active before a tackle starts, you'll be totally immune to the fumbles. Okay, see now, again, that's the difference between sim and competitive. You know, I don't like absolutes, but it is what it is. I don't play on the competitive, so I'll be cool there. Football weather. Here we go. Let me see. Y'all still with me? How many of y'all still with me, man? Give me a thumbs up, guys, if y'all are liking what you're seeing so far. I'm not asking you to rate anything. It's just, if you like what you see so far, and if you want me to continue reading, if you appreciate what I got going here in terms of the stream. I do apologize, guys, if I've missed any donations. So if any of you guys have dropped some Wonder Bread in the chat and I missed it, my bad. I'm just reading a bunch of words here and I'm trying to get through this as fast as I can. So I will say thank you guys in advance. And thank you in the past if you've already dropped a donation and I missed it. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. What do we got? Football weather. That's football weather is one of many quotes from the great John Madden himself. He exuded pride in the historic and unique link between extreme weather conditions and the NFL. Madden NFL 26 is delivering a set of features under the name football weather that combines the visceral nature of the weather, look, and the significant impact it has on its gameplay. Man, how long have we asked for weather, not only to look better, but to have an impact on gameplay? We're bringing this experience right to your front door with an overhaul to weather visuals and intensity, coinciding with gameplay impacts to increase the realism of having to game plan for the elements. You should have to game plan for that. We've made changes to all of our previous supported weather types and have added heavy snow with fog and heavy rain with fog for Madden 26, all of which will be felt on the field as soon as you see it. Love it. When playing in the elements, you will have to adjust your game plan based on how extreme they are. Love it. When playing in heavy fog, you'll be battling visibility in the passing game, just like an NFL quarterback players can slip and making drastic cuts. Wide receivers can lose their footing when releasing off the line. Linemen on both sides of the ball can lose their footing during their get off and more. Man, I'm loving this. This is all dependent on the player's change of direction rating. Yes, make these ratings matter. And how much precipitation is in the play. The way players run will feel different due to the penalties to their speed, acceleration, and change of direction ratings, as most athletes are not as explosive or smooth when running in heavy snow or rain. I don't know about heavy snow, but that boy Saquon was pretty pretty nifty on his feet in the playoffs in the snow. Had a couple long runs if I recall, but I don't know if it was heavy. But yeah, everybody shouldn't be able to run the same in the snow. Some special athletes might be able to pull it off. It will also be harder to kick and throw with penalties to power and accuracy. You'll see more broken tackles that slide on the wet field, drop passes and fumbles, all driven by player ratings and their team's home climate. Wow. The gameplay weather system is so detailed that players from cold weather teams would not be as impacted when playing in the snow. Let's go Pittsburgh. Teams like Buffalo, Chicago, Green Bay, Cleveland, and Philadelphia. I don't understand how y'all ain't put the Berg in there, EA. It's cold in Pittsburgh, bro. But again, yeah, if you're going to put Philly in there, you got to say Pittsburgh. I'm just saying. But they say those type of teams that play in the snow frequently will perform better than teams from warm weather climates. Teams such as Miami, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Jacksonville will experience heavier movement penalties. To simulate the balance of the NFL, cold weather teams also will experience faster rates of fatigue. I like that. When playing in the heat. Teams used to playing in the heat will fatigue at a slower rate than the traditional cold weather teams. I'm loving that, man. That's detailed, and you can take this to a whole nother level, man. You can start introducing dynamic weather maybe in the future, right? Yeah, I'm liking where we're going. All of this is driven by improvements to the simulation side of weather. Precipitation is variable. Wind has a wider range, and all of this affects the in-game visuals as well as the impact to each player's performance. All football weather is not created equal, and each game will present a different challenge to overcome it. I am absolutely loving this. Absolutely loving this. foundational football and community requests. As a transition into our foundational football innovation, we wanted to call out a few specific features that came straight from the community wish list. Why? We want our community to know that when you give us feedback, we listen. Madden is a game made for football fans, by football fans, and there are significant changes coming to Madden 26 directly thanks to your input. In this section, we'll break down the most discussed gameplay elements on social media for Madden 25. All right, let's get to it, guys. Let's get to it. Let's see. They said, oh, I think they listened to me right here. Y'all know I'm talking about player movement in every game. Player movement is encompassed both speed and responsiveness. Instead of having two very different sets of locomotion across Madden and college, we will have alignment between both games on a central tuning set that captures the best of both college and Madden. This is what I'm saying. Build these games together. It's built on giving players ultimate control and responsiveness and change of direction, acceleration, and decelerations, while also still maintaining authenticity and top-end speed, which have been finally tuned to match the speed of today's real-world top athletes. Man, this is sounding so good to me, man. So no matter where you play, a 4-2 is a 4-2. The differentiation between NFL athletes and college athletes will be driven by the differences in how players are rated in speed, acceleration, and change of direction for each. This is in direct response to player feedback that was very clear about expectations, citing faster movement from college football felt more fun and responsive. It was a bit more responsive. Y'all know I used to say that. It was sticky, yicky over there in college, right? I loved the way the game played and felt in Madden 25 as well, but y'all remember, you guys who watch my streams, I was sticky, yicky with college. So, yeah. I'm loving that. It says, in fact, social media posts for college and Madden were compared. Almost 40% mentioned player movement. To further test this out, we held a special play test in Madden 25 with our Madden Design Council community leaders who reinforced the communities. I know some of those leaders too, by the way. Shout outs to y'all. Y'all know who y'all are. Reinforced the community's sentiment on faster movement speed. This change was overwhelmingly given a stamp of approval by the vast majority of the players that tested it, and we are beyond excited to deliver this change to Madden 26. Depth chart positions, yes. I don't even have to read this whole thing, guys, but I will. In Madden 25, NFL players are more dynamic than ever. It says 25. I believe that's supposed to be 6, so somebody didn't proofread that. But it says that they are more dynamic than ever. The positional designations of 20 plus years ago are often outdated. Madden NFL 26 is modernizing positions listings across depth charts. This has been a long-time community wish list. It absolutely has. And also been a long-time desire of NFL players across the league. Updating our depth charts means one of the NFL positions that will finally be represented accurately in our game is the long snapper. JJ Jansen fans, rejoice. We have finally made the long snapper position a primary depth chart position with a long snap rating. That's just the start. Our depth chart positions in Madden 26 will also include new primary positions for edge. Thank you. Left and right edge, Sam, Will, and Mike linebackers, and secondary positions for nose tackle, DT archetypes as well, and a new gadget player. Think Taysom Hill, Deebo Samuel. Love that. These depth charts changes have been a long time coming. We've been working on this for more than 2 years. The reason it took time to get this done was all the logic that needed to be overhauled to support the new positions, draft logic, free agency trades, development, regression, and more, much more, will reflect these new position listings. This deep franchise logic is also why the feature adds depth and strategy to roster management in so many places. The gadget player unlocks unique formations and plays in playbooks, and allows you to use just about any player you want in that position. regardless of which player you want to use in special packages. There's a matching ratings formula to go with it. Finding and developing edge players across 4-3 and 3-4 will be more authentic. Hold on, guys. Okay, somebody was texting me. More authentic. You won't have to frequently change positions between DN and outside linebacker when you change your scheme. Mike and Will backers would be used in both schemes, with the Sam being used only in base 4-3 formations. Don't forget to keep a good long snapper, on your roster to avoid some slow or even bad snaps. Okay. As you play through your franchise or build your ultimate team, the increased position depth will make for more scheme variety and more interesting decisions about how you fill out your roster. Wow. Bad snaps. That's not all. It says there's a very unique player entering the league. Okay. They're talking about Travis Hunter. They say we've removed certain restrictions on the depth chart so that you can have Hunter starting at both wide receiver and cornerback if you choose, along with any other wide receivers or cornerbacks. Get creative with personnel and use wideouts and CBs as you like, but be ready for wear and tear to make it harder for them to be successful on both sides of the ball. That's only right. Hunter will have some benefits exclusive to him, though. He's the first rookie we've ever made custom abilities for, deservingly so, yeah. And his unique abilities will make it so the impact from wear and tear will be far less than anybody else trying to play both sides. I like that. Pass coverage. There are very few core gameplay features that community cares about more than pass coverage. Coming off of the considerable amount of conversation about zones in Madden 25, the team has made coverage more realistic to what we see in the NFL. These efforts include hiring a Super Bowl winning former NFL defensive back coach to our design team. Wonder who that is. His expertise in combination with the expectations of our core players resulted in a variety of improvements on the back end of the defense. Two of our main areas of emphasis were cover 4 and man coverages. And by the way, my guy Anthony White, A-Dub, he was already a savant with the coverages and play calls and all that type of stuff. He's the Playbooks guy as well. He knows his football. So if you telling me you got A-Dub and a former NFL defensive backs coach, yeah, they're in good hands. It says cover 4, new 4-strong trips and bunch logic for route concepts that send a back out of the backfield to a trip side. We've added a new push check to our quarters and palms coverage. This dynamically adjustment pushes or bumps the coverage over to the trip side and forces a man match on the receivers as they get into their routes. Let's go. Rather than relying on spot drops to cover 4 threats on a side, this check makes defenders more intelligent about which receivers to leverage and less likely to blow the coverage when number 4 becomes number 1. Oh man, we talking now, boy. Updated China call. We've revamped the China call concept in our quarters, palms, and 3 match coverages versus combos where the wide receiver runs a short route like a drag or a smoke, and the number 2 wide receiver goes deep like a streak or a fade. We have improved the technique of the DBs to allow the CB to quickly leverage the deeper route and the flat defender to handle short route. Okay, I'm loving that. Deep half. We've improved the AI of our deep half defenders so that they reach their landmark quicker and with more urgency as they gain more depth. Players should feel more confident using cover 2 leverages, which aligns closely with the current NFL trend of non-traditional Tampa 2 coverages. Man, oh man, oh man. Man coverage. The first improvement to man coverage is a new defender cut reaction system. Based on ratings, matchups of the players, and leverage discussed below, this system will allow receivers to create separation more authentically and have a better variety in the amount of separation. When a receiver wins on their cut, the defender can lose balance, allowing for a window to make a big play. Lockdown man corners, though, won't be so charitable in the space they allow. Leverage matters more. The leverage of the defender is going to play a much more significant role. It should in a receiver openness than in the past. The base win chance formula is still man coverage versus run routing, short, medium, and deep rating. The leverage side of the defender, however, will have a significant impact on the outcome of the cut, as well as the amount of the separation the receiver can gain. If the defender is aligned with outside coverage at the snap, the receiver will have a much lower chance to win or cut to the outside, and even when he does, the amount of separation gained will be far less than if he cut to the inside. This can mean just a step of separation when winning versus outside leverage, versus 2-3 steps of separation when making a cut in the opposite direction. Leverage will also play a bigger role when matching from zone coverage. Defenders will be more intentional with their man leverage point based on the rules of the zone coverage they are matching from. If the zone calls to take away the outside, when they match into man, they will stay in outside leverage. Oh man, they'll stay on the outside leverage position, which will make the coverage stickier versus the concepts it aims to take away. I love it. We know man is a delicate balance. It doesn't take much to make it either too overpowered or not really valuable. We've added a few improvements to how individual defenders will play the ball for better coverage balance to reduce the frequency of psychic interceptions. We've refined the logic for when an AI-controlled defender can attempt a catch. If he isn't facing the ball or hasn't turned his head, he won't be able to attempt a catch at all, and will instead play the receiver for a catch knockout more often. Guys, I've said for years that head tracking should be tied to coverage. If you can't see it, you can't play it. Point blank, period. You'll also see far more variety with new SWAT animations. There would be far more animation coverage for when defenders try to swat the ball from many different angles. Going even further, here's a list of additional improvements coming to pass coverage driven directly from the community feedback. Increased touch height for swats to give defenders more balanced reactions to a high ball, throws, and deep rack catches. Improved mid-air interaction logic for defenders so that the interactions look and feel more realistic and situation specific, specifically versus high ball throws. For users, it improves the effectiveness of using the play receiver mechanic. Zone drop and custom zone flat zones. Defenders will now sprint instead of backpedal to their desired depth when set to 20 yards or more, which makes them play with more urgency and allows them to get to their spot faster. Cover 3 sky, cloud, and hard flat plays now play country cover 3. Which means that the underneath defenders will play zone, spot drop zones regardless of the offensive formation to give players full control in scheming up a 3-by-1 formation and bunch. All of the cover 3 match and buzz coverages will play skinny or skate. Oh, they brought skate back, respectively, which allow the defense to match up better to the popular routes like flood and verticals on the 3 receiver side. The skinny check is the match principle in cover 3 sky, where the backside hook curl defender will be responsible for vertical route from the number 3 receiver on the trip side. Custom zone. This basically is just like stems from what I'm gathering. And I don't know if I need to read it. Last year, we introduced stems, which players enjoyed because of the creativity allowed on offense. This year, the direct defensive counter of custom zones are in play. Custom zones allow you to tell your zone defenders exactly where you want them to cover. The control scheme is similar to custom stems. Okay, beautiful. You'll even see the play art update in real time. Okay, so y'all understand what that is, so I can speed past that. But that's great. Good counter. Route commit and man coverage. Leverage is the utmost importance. The new route commit feature will reward you for learning your opponent's tendencies. Route commit is different from shading in that it is a high risk and big reward if you... Oh, wow. If you guess correct, so you can play the route if you think they running an out route. Wow. Is your opponent beating you on the corner route? Route commit. Wow. Route commit Y or triangle to bring up the coverage adjustment, then A or X to pick an individual receiver, or all of your defensive backs, RB for defensive keys, and man coverage to look for the outside breaking routes to lock it down. Beware that any in-breaking routes would be lost by your defender and potentially leave them wide open. Don't want to risk so much, then just shade your defender via the traditional shading mechanic, which gives them the leverage to defend the routes you think are being ran and take on less risk, but also less reward. With route commit and shading, easy to read opponents can get shut down with your adjustments at the line of scrimmage, and if you can pick on their play calling habits. Wow. Man, how long have we been streaming, guys? Where we at? An hour and 17 minutes. All right, I'm gonna try to get through this, guys. Hang in there with me, man. Physics-based gameplay. A year ago, we brought you the introduction of the newest version of physics, Boom Tech. This brought players more control, delivering on your feedback about tackles feeling too predictable and scripted. That vision has not changed in 26, as physics is still a huge part of the future for all of the same reasons. We've expanded our physics-driven animation technology to other tackle types, but before we did, we knew we had to do some cleanup after a year of learning and hearing from the players. First, we've done work on tackle alignment to significantly reduce instances of tackles triggering without the players making full contact. This also meant fixing issues with the ball carriers being impacted by physics without really being hit. We've also worked on maintaining momentum after contact by reducing how frequently the system will look to trigger a falling animation. Now we're avoiding scenarios where the ball carrier would change direction while falling to the turf. An additional issue players surfaced was ball carriers getting back to normal locomotion too quickly after contact. This felt abrupt or looked like the ball carrier wasn't impacted by the contact. Just like with the momentum thing, the team adjusted how much the ball carrier will look to branch to locomotion, and when he does, the branching will be later. Once we solidified the foundation of our physics system, we then started expanding it to additional tackle types, including catch tackles, stiff arms, trucks. All three of these interactions are now driven by physics in addition to the hit sticks and cut sticks from 25. The time-based tackle mechanics from last year has been revamped and expanded to all one-on-one tackle interactions. These include strip ball tackles, cut sticks, lunge tackles, wrap tackles, swatting catch tackles, and wrap catch tackles. Players will feel more control and more rewarded in determining the outcome of any tackle. If you time a catch tackle perfectly, or even better, hit a stick at the catch point, you can expect a much better chance for a catch knockout. Timing mechanics aren't just the defense. Truck and stiff arm tackles are also timing-based mechanics. Wow. Increasing your chances to break a tackle or run over a defender is determined by your stick skill when the ball is in your hand, as much as it is when you're on defense. We've also added a new user-driven mechanic called Reach for Sticks. Finally, they brought that back. Remember they had that? Reach for sticks. When close to the sticks or goal line, hold the RS up to attempt to reach the ball out of the tackle. If the ball carrier's arm is free to reach out and the input is received before the tackle is complete, you'll get a reach. AI-controlled players will reach the ball out based on their awareness rating. I like that. This does carry a bit of risk, however, so be careful reaching the ball out in a crowd, because if the ball carrier gets hit while reaching for extra yardage, he will have a higher chance to fumble, as he should. We've added more than 700 new tackle animations for launch and more planned for title updates. Some of the new animations you can expect to see are wrap catch tackles for DBs at the catch point who aren't big hitters, in-range lunges where the defender is near the ball carrier and doesn't have to leave his feet, Unprepped hit sticks, which are more explosive hit stick interactions meant to capture those moments from Sundays when the ball carrier is not quite prepared for the big hit, and a variety of aforementioned reach for stick mechanics. Man, another addition is wear and tear. In Madden 26, a system that tracks any contact of a player takes over the course of a game and inside a franchise, the superstar over the course of the season. Its primary purpose is to authentically manage your player's workload, which will bring risk to repetitively using the same plays or same players over and over. It's a real football solution to video game problem. Yes, man. Why didn't they have this in 25? But if it's better, it's better. As discussed by the college football team, it comes this year with dynamic subs that can be done seemingly during pre-play and a full suite of customization sliders for franchise players. You'll read a lot more about wear and tear system in the franchise and presentation deep dive coming in a few weeks. Okay, cool. And then they talk about block steering. Let me see what else we got, guys. There's so much, man. All right, not too much. Let's get through this. Block steering. Our latest innovation coming in the trenches. The trenches got some love, folks. Coming to the trenches is built on the back of our animation branching technology that also helps power our physics-based gameplay. Block steering is a new mechanic on the defensive side of the ball that keeps you in control of your player, even when engaged in a one-on-one block. Yes. As the name suggests, it gives you the ability to steer the interaction. Come on, man, that's real football. With block steering, you'll find it puts you more control in your hands and better reflects the physics and ratings of the player involved in the interaction. The first application is the right in the trenches when you're controlling a defender and get engaged right off the snap. Instead of flicking the stick to attempt a shed move, or disengage, you now have the additional control on the left stick to steer the blocker into the backfield or side to side like a bull rush in a pass game or using the butt and press technique in the run game. The amount of movement you'll have of the block depends on the player's ratings and momentum, size, speed, and position of two players they get engaged. Wow. Come on, man. You talking my language. Man. The second application is more of the second level of the defense. When running laterally to make a play to the outside or trying to get downhill to a fit gap or defense, you'll now keep your direction and momentum when you get engaged in a block instead of feeling like you're getting snatched or held. With no way to control your movement, you'll still have the left stick control to move blocking engagements. And again, the amount of movement is based on ratings and momentum of the players involved. Block steering isn't just a benefit to user control. However, AI control players will have the ability to fight for the control over the gaps, resulting in better gap control and more stingy run defense, which will improve execution for both your AI teammates as a user and your AI opponents. Leverage system. Boy, I think they really about to speak my language. We're improving how blocking works to make it feel more realistic and help you trust what you see when running the ball. Smarter AI will now look at leverage. Who has better position to decide which blocking animations happen and who wins those battles. This new leverage system knows what leverage is desired by a blocker and the defender when they get engaged based on the design of the play and or any adjustment made to the play. And then based on the ratings, matchup, and pose of the players, can use all of that to inform the selection of the animation so that you can easily see which player, the blocker or the defender, wins the gap. For example, if the offense wants to run a zone run in a B gap versus a 3 technique defensive tackle, the guard is attempting to get his head to the play side of the 3 technique so that he can win the B gap. But the 3 technique is not supposed to get reached unless he's playing inside. So he desires to win the B gap to force the running back into a different lane. Based on the ratings of the guard and the D tackle and their body positions at the point of engagement, the proper animation will trigger that will put either the blocker or the defender in the gap, with the other struggling to try to take it over. Whichever player has head leverage in that gap has significant advantage in winning the gap. If the blocker wins, the defender will have a harder time shedding into the B gap or staring into the B gap, and the ball carrier will be able to have confidence that his guard will hold the B gap long enough to burst through it. But if the defender wins the gap, he's likely to push his blocker into the hole or quickly block shed to make a play. Given all of the blocking and defensive improvements coming this year, understanding leverage is a way to set yourself apart. The leverage battle might fly under the radar, but mastering it will pay dividends, when you utilize it effectively. You'll put yourself in a position to generate those Saquon Barkley highlight runs. Pass block mechanic. The only people who care more about pass protection than the quarterback are Madden players. So it says, first, we've added unique pass protections to each passing play. Okay. I'm not going to read all of this, guys. To make it easier to interact with the new preset protections, we've added some new tools, ID in the mic and all of that. But like I said, guys, I don't really want to read this. I will go back and read it, but as y'all can tell, I'm running out of steam. But there are new pass block mechanics. And is there anything else? Defensive AI improvements, and that's going to be the last thing that I think I read. In Madden NFL 26, we put emphasis on defensive AI in all facets of the game, even on top of what we've already discussed with respect to pass coverage. We think our players will always find offense, so we're starting off the Madden season with a much more aggressive defense. No problem there. To improve our run fits, we've done a comprehensive analysis of the data-driven gap responsibilities for each play and made them more consistent across the board. There will be less guessing where your defenders are going to fit, which you can see in Coach Cam play art. You'll also see run fit defenders far more aggressive getting downhill. When good defenses fit the run, they are trying to build a wall at the line of scrimmage and beat the blockers to the point of attack. That's exactly what we've done to the improved linebacker and safety behavior in the run game, as you will see them aggressively get downhill instead of waiting too long to get blocked. The majority of the gap assignments have been designed to be sound versus RPOs. A and B gap defenders will also be more aggressive in playing the run first. The C, D, and E gap coverage defenders will look to play the pass first if their first key runs a route, but will play the run if they read a block. Keep in mind, as mentioned with real-time coaching AI, we now use play calling adjustments just like users would to defend repetitive plays. And then there are some improvements to Superstar, hotspot celebrations. I don't need to read that. Modernized skills trainer. Let's read that. If you're a gamer that wants to know more about the mechanics of Madden or hit the lab to refine your stick skills, we've completely rebuilt the skill trainer experience for Madden 26. Leveraging the power of our minigame tool, we've made learning the mechanics more fun, seamless, and overall a more enjoyable experience. As a bonus, we did a comprehensive audit of every gameplay mechanic in the game and have a drill for every single one that is available in Madden 26. There are 130 new total, covering ball carrier mechanics, quarterback mechanics, receiver mechanics, option mechanics, offensive pre-play mechanics, tackling mechanics, coverage mechanics, defensive line mechanics, defensive pre-play mechanics, kicking mechanics, and returning mechanics. Every question or theory you've ever had about on-the-field button presses can be answered, and the new user-friendly menu allows you to filter through all of this content to immediately see tutorials for the mechanics that are new or changed in Madden 26 so veterans can return to form in record time. And then it talks about the bundles and such. Guys, I am finally done reading through this article. Bruh. I don't know what to say other than I have to see it. I'm cutting my PlayStation on right now. I was lucky enough to get a beta code. I don't have any to give out. I'm about to cut it on and I'm going to turn it off because it's usually in rest mode so I can unplug it and take it upstairs. And I'm going to be in the living room because that's where I do a lot of my gaming. You know, when I just want to be around my wife and my son and we're all in the same room. She's doing her thing. He's doing his thing. I'm sitting on the couch with my little portable monitor. I'm about to go do that because I've spent an hour and 30 minutes here on stream with you guys. And I'm going to rock out. And tomorrow, myself and Smitty plan to do a show tomorrow. We are planning to do a Sim Standard video stream, whatever you call it, tomorrow to give you our thoughts as a unit. To my knowledge, Smitty also has a beta code. And all I'm going to say is this, guys. Of course, everything is TBD, right? I'm going to get my hands on some of it. I don't know how much is included in the beta. But look, Smitty said, oh, you about to see for real. Look at my brother. Look at my brother. That's my boy right there. My boy in here hanging out. That's my guy, man. I know some of you guys asked, oh, man, you know, it was a while before you and Smitty had did a video. Y'all good? We always good. There's one thing you can guarantee. That's my dog right there, man. And it's crazy how close I am to Smitty and Azur when YouTube and Madden brought us together. You know what I mean? But Smitty telling me I'm about to see what time it is. He wants me to try the extreme weather game, so I'm going to try one of those. But listen, I'm off tomorrow since Juneteenth is still a holiday. Happy Juneteenth to all the people that it applies to. And yeah, I ain't got nothing else to do, man, but chill and play some games tonight while my wife is watching Love Island or something in the background. But listen, this is all I'm going to say, man, until tomorrow. Smitty and I tomorrow are going to come, and I wanted to get this out the way because we're not going to spend time just dissecting the article. So I wanted to do my independent video, get that out of the way. So tomorrow, me and Smitty can kind of just chip away at the biggest things that perhaps caught our eye in reading this and caught our eye from playing the beta, and just talk a little bit about how this stuff has come together, man. This is stuff that you've heard us talk about for years. And I'm going to say this here, and I'm going to say it tomorrow. I do not care who doesn't like this game. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says about, oh, why you acting excited. Listen, let me tell you why I'm acting excited. Everything in that article is stuff that myself and Smitty and Shopmaster, Mad Scientist, Sean Mason, Azure Effect, Mark Rollins, I'm going way back. My boy Ronnie, Bobby, and I'm not talking New Edition. They know who they are. My man M. Frisk. I mean, it goes on and on of people that we continue to pound the table for these type of things, and it's happening. It's happening. Now, how they execute it is another thing, but it's happening. So yeah, I'm going to be excited by that because ultimately I want to play good sports games. I am a football guy. I want to play a nice, a great, a solid football game. And it looks like for whatever reason, EA Sports is being serious about bringing this to us. My man Scott OG is on the job. For many of you guys that don't know, me and OG knew each other before he even went to 2K. I met OG verbally on a podcast that the Czar had back then. They invited me on because I was one part of the Sim Standard that was out here doing their thing, and they invited me on, and OG was on that pod, and as well as Czar, and he commended me for, you know, staying in the good fight, man. Hey, man, try to get that game better. This is years ago. Then OG had a gig at EA. Then OG left and went to 2K, and now he's back. And let me tell y'all, that dude is as passionate about simulation football as he was with basketball. So yeah, after all of these years, yes, I'm gonna act excited because this is the stuff I've been wanting. And I cannot believe we're seeing all of this. We're seeing all of this in one cycle. And like OG said, let that blog give you guys an indication as to where we're going. We ain't even where we want to be yet. Yeah, this is exciting times, man. So I don't care who has. I already seen at least one of the known don't do this, don't do that already made a video saying don't buy Madden earlier today, and I'm like, dog. Like I said, some of those guys, I'm gonna tip a hat to them. That's what they do. They make their money that way. So I don't. But I'm just like, yo, this ain't the year to say that. Many of us have never seen this type of stuff happen to an EA product. So this ain't the year where people gonna get on board with not purchasing or not trying it out. This ain't gonna be that year. I'm sorry. But anyway, I've talked long enough, guys. I'm very excited about what I'm reading. Hopefully I'm even more excited about what I'm about to play here in a few minutes. And according to Smitty, I will be. And Smitty and I will be here live tomorrow, man. We won't try to hold y'all too long. I know the finals will be on, but we're going to chop it up. We're going to chop it up, and we'll see you guys then. And like I said, if anybody donated, man, and gave me some Wonder Bread and I missed it, my bad. I apologize, but I do thank you after the fact, right? So my man CT Pittman says, yeah, but Sim, we know why they went all out. Yeah. And I ain't mad. I'm not mad. Listen, business is business, guys. You know, business is business. And we all live in this world and we know how people get down with business. And we either just, you know, you're gonna be a part of it or you're not, right? We know what's probably pushing them, but good. Because whether competition officially comes back or not, it's at least pushing you with the thought. So that's what we need. That's what we need. But all right, man, I'm going to get out of here, guys. If you haven't already, make sure, boom. I don't even know if it's showing up. Hold on, guys. Hold on. There it is. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, man. If you like the channel, like the content, subscribe, as well as turn on your notifications so you know when videos like this are up and running. Outside of that, man, you guys will see me again tomorrow with my good brother Smitty, and we gonna chop it up, man. 8 p.m. Eastern time, live here on the channel, and we'll kick it. All right, man, y'all be good, be safe, be blessed. Hope many of you have the day off tomorrow as well, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.